Those city.
Welcome to Baltimore life, the drug life. The monkey dust and all of that stuff.
Beneath its history and brick-lined streets, Baltimore hides a struggle most people never truly see.
I'm only 30 years old. And it's all got to do with the drugs.
In alleyways, beneath overpasses, and along forgotten corners, tents cluster together, holding lives the city often passes by. Here, addiction doesn't just exist. It shapes every hour of survival.
Baltimore, man, where dreams come true and dreams can be lost. It's up to you and the people you be around.
People fight not for comfort, but to stay breathing, to guard the little they have left, to hold on to a hope that keeps sliding out of reach. How did a city with such a powerful story allow so many of its own to fade into the background? And as we walk these streets, are we willing to see the cost of looking away? Baltimore Unseen, what the streets are really saying. Walking through Baltimore, the signs are impossible to ignore. Encampments line alleys, underpasses, and empty lots, scattered like a map of neglect. According to the 2024 Baltimore Homeless Services report, around 3,900 people were experiencing homelessness, with nearly 1,800 sleeping unsheltered. But numbers only skim the surface. Many people stay just out of view, sleeping in cars, stairwells, or abandoned buildings, avoiding official counts and curious eyes. How many lives are we missing because they've learned to hide? The faces here are diverse. Young adults, families, veterans, and elders all navigate a version of survival the city was never built to support. Some are grappling with mental illness. Others are battling addiction. Many are carrying both, on top of trauma and deep poverty. What stays with you isn't just how many people there are, but the look in their eyes, tired, wary, always alert, carrying stories too heavy for words. Baltimore homelessness is more than tents on sidewalks. It's a crisis breathing in real time. People move carefully, guarding backpacks, blankets, and bags as if they're all that stand between them and disappearing completely. Each day becomes a negotiation with the city itself, between staying visible enough to get help and invisible enough to stay safe. Even the data we use doesn't tell the full truth. Nationwide, more than 771,000 people were counted as homeless in 2024. Yet the real number is likely much higher, hidden in basements, cars, and overcrowded apartments. The Homeless in America crisis is not just statistical, it's human, and it's here. And as Baltimore clears one encampment only to see another appear a few blocks away, a question hangs in the air. How long can hope survive when the streets themselves feel like they're swallowing people whole? Under pressure, Baltimore's policies and the fight to survive.
Housing is a human right! Housing is a human right!
The city shows up saying it wants to help, but what does help really look like here? Baltimore has launched programs, temporary shelters, motel vouchers, Outreach teams trying to connect people to services. On paper, it sounds like progress, but for many on the ground, it feels more like a brief pause than a real path forward. I watched people hurriedly pack when officials cleared an encampment under an overpass. One day, that patch of concrete was home. The next day, it was just empty space again. Can a city honestly claim safety if stability only lasts until the next sweep? Policies are written to protect, but in practice, they often add another layer of pressure. People are forced to move constantly, dodging curfews, zoning rules, and restrictions on where they're allowed to exist. Shelters fill up fast. Appointments for housing or assistance are delayed for weeks or months. Waiting lists stretch long enough to make hope feel unrealistic. Intentions may be good, but the result is often exhaustion, frustration, and a slow wearing down of the spirit. Walking through the encampments, you can feel it, the tightness in people's expressions, the way hands stay wrapped around bags and carts, the way eyes track every movement. The city asks for compliance, but for those on the streets, compliance can mean surrendering control, privacy, and dignity. Every encounter, whether with outreach workers, police, or cleanup crews, becomes a negotiation with survival. Baltimore homelessness isn't just a local failure. It's another chapter in the wider story of the Homeless in America crisis. Programs can offer a roof for a night or a week. They can provide a meal or a voucher. But they rarely address what's pushing people out here in the first place: addiction, untreated mental illness, unaffordable housing, and deep-rooted poverty. When the voucher ends, when the shelter is full, when the funding runs out, the streets open up again, and people fall right back in. It's a relentless cycle that leaves you asking, who is truly being helped, and who is just being moved around? And yet, even inside this constant churn, small acts of care matter. Outreach teams, nonprofits, and everyday volunteers step in where systems fall short. They offer meals, blankets, health checks, and human conversation. Each life reached, each night indoors, each moment of relief is proof that hope isn't completely gone. But the question still echoes. How long can that hope hold on when the very ground beneath people keeps shifting? Walking their days, lives beyond the pavement. Mornings on Baltimore streets don't begin gently. Under bridges, along weed-choked lots, and down quiet alleys, people wake up with no guarantee of safety, shelter, or rest. Connor, a man who once spoke about his future with confidence, pushes a shopping cart past me, everything he owns rattling inside. Heroin has stripped away his job, his apartment, and for a time, his sense of purpose. Yet in his eyes, there's still that stubborn glimmer that says, staying alive matters more than comfort ever did. A few blocks away, Christy, in her 30s, tells me about nights spent in a tent while her body tried to heal from xylazine-related infections. She once had a steady life, work, a home, a routine. Now, her world is reduced to sidewalks, streetlights, and the same question she asks herself every single day. Where am I going to sleep tonight? Around them, the city keeps moving. Cars rush past. Kids head to school. Tourists snap photos, often unaware of the lives they're walking around. But if you pay attention, the streets have their own rhythm. Quiet trades of food, whispered warnings about upcoming sweeps, careful scouting for somewhere that feels less dangerous. Life out here is anything but idle. It's a constant test of awareness, endurance, and trust. And I can't help wondering, If this is what today looks like for Connor and Christy, how many others are enduring the same fight in silence? Evening doesn't bring peace. Tents are shifted. Belongings are hidden. Every move is calculated. Shelters come with strict rules, limited beds, and timelines that rarely match real life. Help arrives, but on the city's schedule, not theirs. Still, small flashes of humanity cut through the darkness. A shared blanket, a hot meal, a kind word that lands at the right moment. These brief exchanges prove that even in the harshest moments, hope can still flicker. Walking beside Connor and Christy, the phrase "homeless in America" stops being abstract. It becomes the echo of footsteps on concrete, the shake of a worn coat in the cold, the weight of dreams deferred but not completely erased. And as night settles over Baltimore, one question lingers. If survival demands this much vigilance, how long can hope keep holding on? Shadows of dependence, addiction, and the public health fight. On Baltimore streets, it becomes painfully clear that addiction isn't just a personal battle. It's a coping mechanism for many living without a home. People like Connor and Christy turn to heroin, fentanyl, xylazine, and other substances not because they're chasing a high, but because they're trying to blunt the cold, hunger, fear, and relentless stress that come with life outside. Addiction and homelessness twist around each other here, each one fueling the other, creating a cycle that's incredibly hard to break. Public health in Baltimore is tested every day. Outreach teams hand out naloxone, offer harm reduction guidance, and try to connect people with treatment. But resources are limited, and timing is everything. Not everyone can access help when they desperately need it. Some pull back, afraid of judgment or legal trouble. Others don't know where to go, or are simply overwhelmed by the chaos of daily survival. How do you support someone who's constantly on the move, whose life can change in an hour, and whose needs are immediate and urgent? The impact goes beyond individual users. Xylazine has intensified the crisis, leaving people with severe infections, overdoses, and long-term tissue damage. Emergency rooms and shelters are stretched, seeing people arrive late, often when their condition is already critical. Even when medical care is available, factors like unstable housing, poor nutrition, exposure to violence, and chronic stress make recovery far more complicated than a single hospital visit or detox stay. And yet, glimmers of progress exist. Street nurses check wounds and follow up. Volunteers hand out care kits with bandages, snacks, and hygiene supplies. Community centers offer counseling, showers, or a quiet corner to rest. Every small gesture can prevent a tragedy, reduce harm, or simply restore a sense of dignity for a moment. It's a reminder that the Homeless in America crisis isn't just measured in numbers. It's written in lives, in resilience, and in the sheer effort it takes to keep going. Addiction also forces the wider community to face hard questions. How do we support people on the edge without abandoning boundaries or safety? What responsibility do we share as neighbors, as citizens, as a city, to prevent people from falling this far in the first place? And what does real help look like beyond slogans and quick fixes? On Baltimore's sidewalks, the shadows of dependence stretch long, but they're not just stories of destruction. When we talk about the homeless in America, it's not enough to see tents, tarps, and carts. We have to see the people inside them, the struggles they carry, the battles they didn't choose, and the possibility of real, lasting change if we choose not to look away. Life in the shadows, Baltimore's everyday struggle. Winter winds cut straight through thin jackets and worn-out blankets, while summer heat bakes concrete neighborhoods with almost no shade. Every day is a battle against the environment, collapsing infrastructure, and the constant threat of being pushed from whatever fragile shelter someone has found. For many, even basic necessities are a maze. Working water fountains are rare. Public restrooms are locked or restricted. Shelters are full, have strict curfews, or rules that some simply can't meet. So people carry their lives on their backs or in grocery carts, always ready to move to avoid trouble, police sweeps, or unsafe corners. Some tuck themselves into industrial zones or under overpasses, places hidden from view but filled with risk. Food insecurity hangs over everything. Food pantries, church meals, and outreach vans bring moments of relief, but nothing is guaranteed. People watch each other's few belongings, trade information on which kitchen is open, and form small, fragile circles of mutual protection. Trust, though, is easily broken. New faces, law enforcement raids, and sudden cleanups can shatter a stable corner overnight. Health dangers multiply in this environment. Without reliable access to clean water or sanitation, infections spread quickly. Chronic illnesses, mental health struggles, and addiction tangle together with harsh weather and dangerous surroundings, making escape from the streets feel nearly impossible. Every day out here wears down the body and the mind a little more. And still, resilience emerges in quiet ways. People share blankets on freezing nights, pool money for food, or walk together through risky areas so no one is alone. They know which blocks are safer, who can be trusted, and where they might steal a few moments of rest. It's a daily equation of survival where every decision has weight, and every small act of kindness can make the difference between collapse and carrying on. Watching life here unfold, it's hard not to ask, how much strain can one human spirit take before hope starts to crack? Baltimore's unhoused residents live in the margins, forced to adapt to realities most people never glimpse. Their struggle is a reflection of the city itself, tough, resourceful, and enduring, even when no one is watching. Between empathy and fatigue, voices from the community. As you move through Baltimore's neighborhoods, you quickly feel the range of emotions surrounding those living on the streets. Some residents pause, visibly affected by what they see. They hand out bottles of water, hot meals, or blankets. Local volunteers and nonprofits organize food distributions, mobile medical visits, and temporary shelter spaces, trying to carve out pockets of stability in a system that often feels cold and distant. There's a quiet dignity in these efforts, small gestures that carry enormous meaning for those receiving them. But not everyone responds with patience. Business owners worry about encampments near shops and offices, concerned about safety and the impact on customers. Residents grow tired of seeing the same tents, the same faces, the same crises replaying in front of their homes. Some call for tougher enforcement, faster clearances, and stricter rules, Online, these tensions are amplified. Videos of encampments and encounters go viral, sparking comment wars over what Baltimore should do. Should the city crack down first and ask questions later? Or should it lead with housing, treatment, and services, even when results are slow and complicated? Where does accountability start? And how much responsibility do all of us share in a country where the homeless in America are so visible and yet so easily dismissed? At the same time, small, community-based efforts keep growing beneath the noise. Neighbors quietly check on people who are isolated, arrange rides to clinics, or put together hygiene kits. Churches and community centers open their doors for drop-in hours, hot meals, or counseling. Artists, writers, and local storytellers document the reality on the streets, turning statistics back into faces and names. These acts insist that homelessness isn't just an issue to manage. It's a human reality that demands attention and empathy. What stands out most is the tension between compassion and exhaustion. People care, but they're also tired. They're frustrated with systems that fail both the housed and unhoused, and that frustration sometimes spills over onto the people who are suffering most. That mix of heart and weariness is, in many ways, the clearest reflection of Baltimore itself, a city built on grit, resilience, and a constant struggle to hold on. As you walk these streets, one question quietly follows you. If you were the one sleeping outside tonight, how would you hope your community responds? The answers aren't simple, but they matter. Every shared meal, every outreach effort, every moment of recognition becomes part of a larger conversation about what it means to be a neighbor, to be a city, and to live in a nation where no one can pretend the homeless in America are invisible anymore. Baltimore's streets are tough, chaotic, and often unseen by those far away, but within them is a story of endurance, community, and the ongoing fight to let compassion, not fatigue, shape the city's response. Closing reflections, faces behind the struggle. As the sun sets behind Baltimore's skyline, shadows stretch across alleys, vacant lots, and makeshift shelters. Life here is harsh and easy to ignore, but inside that struggle are quiet stories of strength, people sharing what little they have and clinging to fragile hope in a city that often looks past them. We don't get to look away anymore. This crisis isn't distant. It's woven into our own streets and neighborhoods, part of the larger story of the homeless in America. Every meal offered, every blanket shared, every hour volunteered is more than a gesture. It's a step toward dignity, stability, and a chance to help rewrite that story.